Hello everyone and welcome to Siriana Tarot. This is a singles new love reading for Taurus. We're going to look at the kind of love you're ready to experience now based on the growth you've already done. Take what resonates and leave the rest. Clear messages, advice, and guidance for my Taurus, please. All right, your person is showing up as the Nine of Wands and the Emperor, Aries energy. They're viewing you as the Knight of Wands. All right, so it's really strong fire energy, Aries, Leo, Sag. And we see the Wheel of Fortune. So I feel this is going to be quite an abundant relationship. Also one that feels destined. The Nine of Wands for me can also indicate a past life soulmate connection. And we have the Page of Cups, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces energy. So I feel like this is someone here who hasn't quite made a love offer yet. They might be a little bit guarded. They're very physically attracted to you. But I kind of feel like they're waiting to see if this is really true. You know, I'm getting, or I often get pinch me vibes from this Page of Cups. Like, is this really happening? Is Taurus who I really think they are? I feel like this person may have like a stoic or harder exterior, which can be Cancerian energy, Scorpio energy, but they're quite soft. They're quite romantic on the inside. For some of you, this person has a military background. And like I said, I feel there's going to be a sense of familiarity about this person. I also think they're very sweet. They're very creative. But they're a little bit hesitant, okay, to make this love offer. But this is the type of person here who's absolutely going to step up when they're sure. Now we see the Ten of Swords in reverse, so it tells me this person has been actively healing and clearing. And again, they may be a little bit guarded because they have experienced some sort of breakup or separation here. And for some of my Taurus, I mean, it could be that you're in separation from this person, or you've had a fight or an argument here. But more so, I think this person has just been through something, and that's why they're guarded when it comes to love. But they have been releasing negative attachments. They have been healing. They're in alignment. They're absolutely ready for this new phase here, or this new relationship. And we see the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, and some of you, they've been working really, really hard at healing and maybe even getting back on their feet, especially if they've had a divorce or separation. It's possible too that their finances or their health was really affected. For some of my Taurus, this person may have had a really scary health diagnosis, or they may have had a near-death experience, or they were struggling with their health. But I do see that this person is strong. They're capable. They're relatively healed is what I'm getting, or they're healed. And how you're going to be feeling the Six of Swords. So Taurus, this tells me here that this person is going to bring you peace, that you do feel moving on with this person is going to be something that just feels natural. All right, let's see what else we need to know about this person. Clear messages, advice, and guidance for my Taurus, please. All right, so for some of you, this person may have a child from a previous connection. Now, this card says daddy's girl, but my readings are not meant to be gender specific, although some of the cards that I use are. But regardless, this person has a close-knit relationship with their father. They might look a lot like their father. They might have followed in their father's footsteps when it comes to career or just, patterns. Some of you, they have a strong connection with their father, whether that person, whether their father is alive or crossed over. We got confirmation there from that long horn. All right, let's see. We see generational difference. So for some of my Taurus, now these really specific messages when it comes to age or ethnicity or hair color, things like that, they're not going to resonate with all of you, but they will be confirmation for some of you. And we do see that it's possible that there's a 10+ year age difference. Spirit saying remain open-minded. Remember, love knows no bounds. All right, we see Pisces energy. So we did get that strong water energy. An air of mystery surrounds this watery sign, and though they can be quiet, their thoughts and emotions run deep. And we're also seeing here, Taurus, that this person may be a business owner. So they invest effort and creativity into personal fulfillment and wealth. All right, so we're seeing this person, it really tracks with them being a business owner and showing up here as the emperor. So, if they have their own business, obviously they're the business owner, this emperor energy, but it does feel like this person, no matter what they do for a living, this is somebody who's successful. So they could be in a management position, or they could be, they're giving off CEO vibes. I'm also seeing with the Emperor and the Wheel of Fortune that this certainly could be a divine counterpart situation. And although this person is guarded, this person is the type of person that's going to step up in the relationship or ask you out here. We see that this person is quite a heartbreaker, so they're definitely sexy, attractive. They may have a lot of people that are interested in them. We see that this is going to be a telepathic connection between the two of you. So your communication here goes beyond mere words. Okay. One glance, speaks 1,000 words. And we do see this person may be European or of European descent, or there's some sort of European connection. So they might be traveling from Europe. They might work in Europe. They might live in Europe. Maybe they are they're traveling to Europe, or Europe is on their bucket list of trips. All right. And we see curvy. So again, whatever their lines or curves may be when this card comes out, it just indicates to me that you're going to find them to be very physically attractive here. All right, what else do my Taurus need to know about this person or this connection? What else do my Taurus need to know about this person or this connection? Okay, so we see that they're a great cook. Beautiful. So cooking is most likely their love language here. A badass in the kitchen, a different ethnic background, so they could come from a different, background than yours. And they may be a restaurant owner, which tracks with business owner, emperor energy, or they've worked in the culinary field at some point in time, or maybe they currently do. Yeah, we get a lot of confirmation here that this person might be very different from you. They might be from an overseas or tropical location. You could meet this person online, or, they could be at a distance. All right, and we see that this person is bold, they're confident, they're making the first move, and they're going to be the one to step up. They're going to pursue you. They're going to ask for your number, get your details. But that will be after a period of time of kind of holding back and making sure that, they're going to have success here. So we see also that they're dependable and consistent. Beautiful energy there. So someone that you can trust, somebody that you can rely on, Taurus. All right. Anything else we need to know? Anything else we need to know here? All right, so we see this person may speak with an accent. Okay, so they may be from a different city, state, or country even. That message is coming through a lot. They may have lighter skin. Remember these very specific messages. They're going to be confirmation for some of you, but they're definitely not going to resonate with all of you. Okay. They have been in your proximity at least once in the last 6 months. And Taurus, we see that they called you the other night. So a select few of my Taurus, you could be friends with this person, you might work with this person, or maybe you're already talking to this person. But for those of you who are not, I do feel like this is the type of person that's not just going to shoot you a text or a message. They're going to pick up the phone and call you. So a little bit more old school, a little bit traditional there. Now they're viewing you as the Knight of Wands, so it does look like you might be a bit younger than this person. Again, it doesn't have to necessarily be 10 plus years, but for some of you that will be the case. The Knight of Wands tells me this person sees you as somebody who's fun, somebody who's exciting, somebody who's really passionate. And I love how this Knight of Wands in particular, she sits in between or between those Four of Wands behind her. So I do feel like this person's going to be very physically attracted to you, but there's something about meeting you, Taurus, that is going to make them feel like, I want to be in a relationship with this person. You know, they're fun, they're exciting, but there's also this sense of stability here. Okay, some of you could meet while you're out, like listening to music, or like where, you know, music and dancing is, you know, like a club or a disco or a concert. I know disco sounds weird, but I do speak Spanish. It's a more common word in Spanish than in English. All right, we see the Six of Wands in reverse. So this person might be a little bit worried at first because they do see you as very sexy, very attractive. They may be a little bit worried with the Six of Wands in reverse that you're going to ignore them, or you're dealing with other options, or they have a lot of competition here. All right. They're worried that they're not going to have victory here with you. Yeah, and we see the Tower. We see Aries, Scorpio energy. Some of you, this person may be a little bit worried that you're not quite ready to put the single life behind you. They may feel like you're a bit avoidant or you're avoiding them. And again, that could be that source of hesitation that we're picking up on, Taurus. They may also be a little bit worried that you're really not, I mean, they're not worried that you're really invested in your own success, but like that you're more focused on your career or, you know, gaining some sort of success or recognition than you are in love and relationships. All right, or on them in particular. And we see the Queen of Cups coming through. So this is your energy, Cancer, Scorpio, Pisces. You both could have water placements here. But I actually feel like, my Taurus, you're going to be really feeling the love with this person. I do think it's going to be it's going to be mutual once you guys go out with each other, or once you guys, you know, once you really meet and talk, for example, if you're not already in communication with this person, you know, you're going to be really feeling the love. You know, she's happily dancing on the beach. She's barefoot. She's feeling carefree. She's feeling comfortable. So I do think there's something here about this person that is going to make you feel quite safe and like you can be yourself. They might really also love that you have a creative side. There might be something here about the beach or a tropical location that, I don't know if that's where you meet, or one of you lives in a near the beach, or you meet on some sort of, you know, meet in that climate, you meet in a warm climate. But I do feel like you're going to be really, you're going to feel like you can really be yourself with this person, and like you do want to invest, you do want to open your heart chakra here to them. All right, let's see what else they really admire about my Taurus. What else do they really admire about my Taurus, please? Okay, we see martyr. We see, they see you as someone who's, you know, not addicted to self-pity. You're somebody who's really tough. You're somebody who is self-sacrificing, but like you're not like trying to get, you know, you don't overdo it as well, but you also don't try to get recognition and reward from when you are self-sacrificing. All right, and they see you as the mystic archetype. So they see that you revel in intimate union with the divine. So they see, they may feel like this is a spiritual connection, but they definitely recognize and honor your spiritual side, Taurus, which I think is really important. And we see the slave archetype coming through here, which is saying that you surrender your power of choice to the divine with complete trust. So they love that. They love that you have faith, that you know, that you believe, you know, that in, you know, you believe in your faith. I know that sounds kind of weird to say or kind of redundant, but they love that you have faith, and they love that you believe that spirit has got your back, and that what's truly meant for you isn't going to pass you by, which I feel like actually makes you come off quite grounded and relaxed, and especially when it comes to love here. All right. So we see that the connection is showing up here as the Wheel of Fortune, which is Sagittarius energy. But I also feel like this is going to be an abundant connection. I see here that not only is it going to be an abundant connection, sorry, Taurus, I heard something like a loud boom in the other room. That they're sorry, it just was distracting for me for a second. All right, so with the Wheel of Fortune here, like they feel like, sorry, the connection is going to be an abundant one, a destined one. I'm really getting power couple vibes. I feel like too this, you know, again, whatever sex or gender you are, they are, this person's really showing up in the divine masculine energy. So like somebody who's going to be decisive and hold space for you and really hold space for you to be creative. So I love that. And I feel like a lot of my Taurus, you haven't quite had that in a while. All right, what else do we need to know? Yeah, this connection stretches your ability to give, receive, and hold emotion with greater depth and awareness. So the purpose of this connection is to expand your emotional capacity. And I see that. I see that with this Queen of Cups. And I feel it's going to be really relatively immediate here. All right. This connection encourages you to show up as you truly are. So you're going to be embodying authenticity, which again, I feel like that's what I was getting from that Queen of Cups. Like you are going to really feel, Taurus, like you can be yourself with this person. And we see grounded and practical. This person values stability and realistic expectations. I really don't know why I can't speak today. And they bring balance to emotional intensity. And I love that. And I feel like you being an earth sign or having strong earth placements, that, you know, this is where you two are really going to click. This is where this connection really becomes solid because they value stability and realistic expectations. And we see reclaiming emotional agency. This connection reminds you that the choice remains yours. Yeah, but you're not going to feel pressured, coerced, or forced here. You're going to be choosing each other is what I'm getting. Okay. Anything else my Taurus need to know here? Anything else my Taurus need to know here, please? Okay, some of you, work might be something that brings you two together, a work trip or, you know, some sort of training, but we see a common cause connection. So this tells me here that with this common cause connection that you and this person are very, very compatible. We see natural evolution, so let the situation unfold naturally. Beautiful. And freedom. I definitely feel that with you too, that there's going to be healthy space and room to breathe. And there's also going to be trust. All right. And Spirit's reminding my Taurus here to just stay in this energy of self-love. Love yourself first. That's what's going to really attract this person. But I also feel like that's what they really want for you as well. All right. Anything else we need to know? Any important dates or times? All right. So Spirit's saying trust in divine timing. So it is going to be different for all of you. And Spirit's saying you will hear news soon. All right, my lovely Taurus, I'm going to leave it here. Sending you love and light. Take care.